Alright, hey guys, it's Sasha. Welcome back to Reading with Toby. Today I am so excited to talk about the Longlist Booker Prize. It was announced today. I had it in my calendar. I'm super excited. I did see the list. I don't know in detail. I just saw a picture of the list. I'll put the picture that I saw here. The stack is so pretty. Like, all the colors are so pretty. And I haven't heard of a single book, so I'm super excited to delve into this. Yeah, I thought I would make this video where I just go through the long list, talk about them, share with you the ones that I'm interested in, which ones I am adding to my TBR, because I do love the Man Booker Prize, mainly because it's one of the best ways that I find new books and books that not a lot of people talk about. And you know, if it's nominated for a book, you know it's going to be great, or at least potentially great. One of my goals in my life is to read a long list of either the Booker Prize or the Women's Prize for Fiction, and then like read the whole at least the short list, and then like predict the winner and do that whole thing. But I'm always so busy. But anyways, maybe this year. I mean, I doubt it, but maybe this year. Actually, this would be a fun video to make, because if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I always look up. I'm trying to log on to, here we go. You know that I always look into the Man Booker and I'm all about it. So yeah, I thought this would be a fun one. I love watching these kind of videos from other people. So let's go ahead and get started. Just sit back, relax, grab yourself some wine. I have some wine here. I just got off work. Oh, and I just spilled it. Of course, I spill. Fun fact, I am like actually very clumsy. I spill like every drink. So yeah. Sorry about that. This has highlights from this year's long list, which I think is cool. It says it features the youngest and oldest author ever to be longlisted. That's cool. You have a 20-year-old, and an 88-year-old. That's so cool. We also have the shortest book ever to be recognized at 116 pages. I don't know, that's so interesting. Oh wow, and then majority of these are by independent publishers. That's really cool too. Okay, yeah, oh, these books are all so pretty. Oh, you know what, now that I'm looking at it, I have heard of one. I've heard of Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies. Okay, I'm just doing a quick one. I think that's actually the only one I've heard of. I thought it kind of looked familiar. I have heard of that one. Okay, so yeah, I'm literally just gonna go down the row of what they have here and let's get started. First, let's take some sip wine. All right, so the first one is called The Colony by Audrey McGee. Oh, this sounds good. Okay, so this one, you are following these two people who decide to go to this small island off the west coast of Ireland, and one is like a painter. It was like he's trying to encapsulate like the island by his painting, and the other one maybe is like a linguist, a person who studies language. What is that called? Wow, I'm blanking. But then it says, but the people who live on this island have their own views on what is being recorded, what is being taken, and what is given in return. At the end of the summer, as the visitors head home, there will be a reckoning. This sounds amazing. This sounds like it's giving me like you know how colonists come in and take things that they think they're entitled to, and the people are getting their revenge. The natives are getting their revenge. That sounds really good. Okay, yeah, I'm interested in that one. Oh, and it's called The Colony. Yeah, I like it. Okay, cool. Okay, next we have is called After Sappho, I think Sappho, by Selby Wynn Schwartz. This one, the cover is very boring. Okay, oh, it's told in a series of vignettes. It looks like it's following the lives of a group of feminist, sapphists, artists, and writers as they battle for control over their lives, for liberation, and for justice. Okay, maybe, possibly. I'm not too intrigued. That synopsis didn't give me much, but maybe. Okay, next, this one is kind of a cool cover. This is called Glory by No Violet Bulawayo, maybe? Okay, so this one looks like it's told from the perspective of animals. Wait, what? It says after, I just have to read this because I can't summarize. It says, after nearly 100 years, a bloody war of liberation brought new hope for the animals, along with a new leader, a charismatic horse who commanded the sun and ruled and ruled and kept on ruling. So it tells the story of a country trapped in a cycle as old as time. Interesting. It reminds us that the glory of tyranny only lasts as long as its victims are willing to let it. Oh, I like that line. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like that could be good. A book told all from the perspective of animals. Interesting. Okay, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. Oh, it looks like her other book was previously shortlisted for the Man Booker in 2013. That's cool. Okay, I am intrigued by this one. I don't know if it's like on the top of my list, but I am intrigued. Okay, next we have Small Things Like These by Claire Keegan. Okay, this one was okay. So this one, it sounds like you're following a merchant in this small Irish town, and it says the weeks leading up to Christmas, he's like doing his rounds in the small town, and he's starting to realize it says complicit silences of a small community controlled by the church. So that one, I feel like this one will be really good, but I don't know if I'm necessarily intrigued, like interested in it. I don't know. I'll keep it in the back of my mind. Like, I think if it's shortlisted, then maybe. But I don't know, we'll see. How long is this one? Let me try to look at the thing. Oh, so that one is a shorter book, so maybe. That makes me a little more, that makes me more interested in it if it's a little bit shorter. The Glory book, the one that's what with the perspective of the animals, that is a thick book. This one like caught my eye because it's this bright pink and the spine is gorgeous. So this is called Night Crawling by I don't know how I say this. Layla Motley. I really like this cover. This one you're following a 17-year-old girl in Oakland. She's picked up by the police. When she's picked up by the police, the gruesome deal they offer in exchange for her freedom lands her at the center of a media storm and facing a terrible choice. Ooh. If she agrees to testify, she could help expose the corruption of a police department. But honesty comes at a price, one that could leave her family vulnerable to retaliation and endanger everyone she loves. Down. Done. This was number one. Number one, I'm most interested in this one. Oh, that's her. So this is the youngest author ever nominated for a Booker Prize. Wow, 20 years old, and that's the most interesting one. Okay, I'm definitely 100% picking this book up. I want to support her. Okay, so the next one is the one that I have heard of. This is called Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies by Maddie Mortimer. I have heard of this. I think this one is about cancer, I believe. Let's see if I'm right. Oh, wow, yeah. So this one is about a woman who has cancer, and it says part of it is told from the perspective of cancer, which is like fascinating to me. And then it sounds like the chemotherapy is also personified, and he's named Red. It's at the center of which dances the murderous narrator, which is the cancer, and a boy nicknamed Red, the toxic chemo that is Leah's last hope. That one is at the top of my TBR. I definitely want to read that. If you don't know, I hope to specialize in pediatric oncology, so I already I already think cancer is like extremely fascinating. And this sounds so interesting, to read a book from the perspective of cancer. That's so brilliant. Okay, I'm super interested in this. I know this one is another like thicker book, but wow, that sounds so good. Okay, I'm really interested in that one. Let's get some more wine. Next, we have this one called Case Study by Graham McCrae Burnett. This one takes place in London in 1965. This one sounds so good too. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this one you're following this young woman who believes that the psychotherapist led her sister to kill herself. So she decides to like fake her identity and become like a client of the psychotherapist and start recording her experiences and like what's happening during their therapy sessions. But then it says she soon finds herself drawn into a world in which she can no longer be certain of anything, even her own character. That one sounds so good. Oh my gosh, this list so far is so great. The long list last year, I was not interested in. I have to say there are like very few books, although I did find like one of my favorite books of the year last year, which is, I'll put it here, Bewilderment by Richard Powers. I found that because of the Booker Prize. But not that many on that list were too intriguing to me. So far we have a lot that are very intriguing. That one sounds really good. Next we have Treacle Walker. I'm gonna lean back because my back is starting to hurt. We'll bring you forward. This one, the cover doesn't really do much for me. I think I'll start putting it here. So this one, it sounds like you're following these two young boys. So you have one boy named Joe, and then you have the other boy named Treacle. I think that's how you say it, which is what the book is named after. he just like appears one day on the moors and they form a friendship. The synopsis doesn't give much away, I have to say. This one sounds all right. We'll see. If I hear more things about it, maybe. What we have is called The Trees by Pervical Everett. A series of brutal murders are eerily linked by the presence at each crime scene of a second dead body, that of a man who resembles Emmett Till. Then, so you're following the detective and he's realizing that uncannily similar murders are taking place all over the country. That sounds so strange. And then it sounds like the detective gets involved with this root doctor who's been documenting every lynching in the country for years. Sounds like it's going to be very hard to read and very deep. Also, like it would be a very good book, but like you gotta prepare yourself for that one. You gotta be in the right mindset for that one. Yeah, I'm definitely intrigued by that one. Oh, Hernan Diaz. Okay, I've heard of this author. He wrote In the Distance, which I have not read. It is on my TBR. How cool. He has a new one that has been longlisted. So this one is called Trust. I feel like I may have heard it. I don't know if I necessarily heard. I have heard of this. Yes, it's like coming back to me because I remember hearing that this author has a new release coming. Interesting. Okay, let's see. I don't remember what it's about. Let's see what it's about. Honestly, the synopsis isn't giving me much here. But it says a literary puzzle about money, power, and intimacy. Trust challenges the myths shrouding wealth and the fictions that often pass for history. So it sounds like we're following this like Wall Street tycoon and his daughter. This one I'm not really sure. The synopsis is a little confusing, but I am intrigued. I'm a little curious about it just because like it's like what in the world is it about? Because it sounds like there's like a novel that's at the center of the book, like a book within the book that seems to be at the center of it, called Bond. That one's not like at the top of my TBR, but it's like in the middle. It's in the middle. It's in the middle. How big is it? I'm gonna look at this. This book looks huge. It literally looks like the biggest book on this pile. So I don't know. I'll definitely have to hear some things about that one. We're almost done. 3 more books. Okay, the next one is called The Seven Moons of Molly Alameda by Shannon. I'm not gonna try to say this last name. That's a hard one, but you can see it here. The cover's intriguing. The cover's kind of weird. Interesting. So this one takes place in Sri Lanka. And it sounds like you're following a man named Mali who has died. He's a war photographer. And we're in like we're in the civil war in Sri Lanka. We're following this war photographer who sounds like he has died. You're following him in the afterlife as he's trying to get in contact with, it says, with the man and woman he loves most, to lead them to a hidden cache of photos that will rock Sri Lanka. Interesting. That's an interesting concept. Maybe. I'm not like super intrigued, but possibly. It sounds kind of interesting. Okay, there's that one. Next we have O. William by Elizabeth Strout. So I have heard of this author. A lot of her books, they all kind of look like this cover. But I've never really been intrigued by her books before, but let's see what this one's about. Oh, okay, so I think, yeah, this one, I was gonna say it looks similar. So this one, I think you're following a character that has been in her previous books named Lucy Barton. And it looks like you're just following her about love, loss, family secrets. That one I'm not too sure, not very intrigued by. I'll probably skip that one, honestly, because the other books in that series, companion series, I'm not quite sure, never really intrigued me. Last one, the cover is interesting. This is called Booth by Karen Joy Fowler. Okay, so this one sounds like we're following a group of siblings. They're called the Booth siblings. One of the main ones that we're following is a Shakespearean actor, and it's also taking place right before the Civil War. The Civil War is brewing in America. And it sounds like one of the siblings named Johnny, it just says, makes a shocking decision that will change the course of history. So this says this is an epic novel about an ill-fated family of thespians, drinkers, and dreamers, whose most infamous son is destined to commit a terrible and violent act. That sounds kind of interesting. Maybe. Again, medium intriguement. There we go. That is the long list. It's honestly a really pretty good long list. I have to say most of them sounded fairly intriguing. I'm not like 100% convinced on all of them, but I'm so glad I went through this. So the ones at the top of my for sure going to read are Night Crawling, Maps of Our Spectacular Bodies. The Colony sounded pretty interesting. The Trees, and maybe Trust. Oh, and Case Study. Okay, that's a lot. So that means like the short list, I'm probably gonna want to read like most of the books on the short list. So maybe my life goal of wanting to read the short list before the winner gets announced can happen. I don't know. But anyways, I'm super excited. I'm very pleased with all the choices. They all sound so great. I am going to see if any of them are available. Definitely the ones on my top list to purchase. But yes, I hope you all enjoyed this super random video. Let's take a wine sip break. Let me know which one you are most interested in, and if you want me to do a shortlist reaction, because I definitely want to read some of these before the shortlist gets announced. I'm not sure when it gets announced. I'll put it here whenever the shortlist actually gets announced. I think it's in a couple months. But yeah, I'm so excited. The list was really good this year. I'm very excited. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you all in my next one. Bye.